Hello and welcome back to Dairy. Welcome to Dairy. See what I did there? I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, and this is my recap of Welcome to Dairy Season 1, Episode 5. Stuff happens. Spoilers, beware. It's a recap. Like, why do I even... I've had a couple people comment, they're like, you tell too much stuff, and I'm like, these are reviews and recaps. Like, I don't know how to help you. The Titanic sank, I don't. It's like The Long Walk. Now they know that the book ending is different from the movie, and it's like, or they would know that if they read the book going into the movie. I haven't even read the book, and I knew that the ending was different from the movie. Dairy. Population dwindling. I don't know how to tell this story this week. I guess we'll split. Kids or adults? Kids or adults? We're gonna go with I'm gonna go with the kids. So we're gonna go with the kids first. When's last we left them, they were, Marge was had suffered tremendously, making me question, like, what even are the rules here? Like, has she been somewhere? Like, it still hasn't answered the question as to, like, how Pennywise chooses kids and, like, when. Like, do they have to go? Like, what is the point of the pillars? Like, is the whole town in the limits of, can he just get to any kid at any time? Because I would think schools would just get depleted every 27 years. I still, like, Andy Machete and I need to sit down and we need to go, hello, do you have a rule book for this show? Or are you just writing as it goes? Like, as it comes and goes, are you just farting this out into the wind? Because I like the show, but Jesus. So, Lily is visiting Marge in her hotel room, in the hospital room. Hotel room would be more fun. Hello, Marge. People think she did it, and but Marge is like, no, I told them that you didn't. She's like, I don't want to be a patty cake anymore. Nobody would believe me if I really said. And Lily was like, I would believe you. And Marge is like, I'm so sorry. So Marge joins the cause along with everybody else, and people are like, well, I don't know if we can trust her. And Lily's like, well, she's seeing it too, so apparently she didn't, like, lose both of her eyes or anything like that. She just has one eye that's, like, stitched up heavily because it's injured. And she told people that her glasses, I guess, spontaneously combusted. I don't know, broke, and Lily was trying to help her at the time, but I think when they found her, Lily had, like, a saw in her hand. So I don't know how people are equating this, like, how is Lily trying to help her? Because she had taken the saw from Marge. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. Rules don't matter here. So the kids get together. They have, like, a little tower thing where they can look out. I felt like Rudy almost saw something at some point where Kissy was like, "Hello, who's there? Private property." And then they end up finding Maddie in a tent down by the river. I don't know where he is, but he's in, like, a tent thing. And they're like, "Oh my God, Maddie, you're alive. We have to take you to the police. You can get her dad released," and all that kind of stuff. So Maddie's like, "I can't go. They'll send me back to my father, and I'd rather go back into the sewers than go back to my father." Which seems pretty crazy, considering he actually says what happened in the sewers. Because they're like, well, did you see the others down there? And he's like, yes, there was the clown, and he brought in, I don't know, one of the kids was dead and his head was cracked open, and he ate the brains out of that kid. And then the other one, the little girl, her arm was ripped off, and he just left her there to die. and eventually, slowly over the course of it, but that Jeff might be alive. So they're like, oh, we got to go rescue Jeff. So they set forth in this and can try to convince Maddie to go, and everybody wants to go to rescue their friend, which is so weird because he's no one's friend except for Lily's. Like, he's he's not Ronnie's friend, he's not Rudy's friend, he's not Will's friend. He's Maddie's friend, but Maddie doesn't really want to go back down in the sewer, which is weird considering what happens later. But Lily goes to the nurse from the mental hospital that she has talked to, or the cleaning, I don't know what she is, that she talked to before, and she's like, promise me you won't go down there, promise me. And I'm like, well, this woman has seen some stuff, and we're probably going to see her in like next season, like the younger version of her, and like how she knows like to stay out of the sewers. So so she tells her to promise. Well, that promise gets broken pretty fast because they go in the sewers. They take some of Lily's mom's pills. Lily's mom must be like, where are my pills? But if she's on whatever she's on, these kids just trip hard. So she must be so high that she doesn't even know her pills are missing. She's just like, I'm short on pills. Okay. Just gone all the time. Because these kids just start tripping balls. They're like, what? I think I got too many pills? And they're like trying to walk through the sewers. But the pills don't seem to do anything about curbing their fear. And by the way, as soon as fear hits them, it seems like those pills just gone. Because they're not like stumbling out of here high. They're not like, I can't functionally move. I have to leave now. This is scary. Like, nothing like that. They just completely, the director told them, change your acting choice. You're not high anymore. Leave. So they go down there and they see the dead bodies start floating up. They're like floating in the water, and they see, I think, the girl first, and then they see Jeff. And then like ahead of them, because Maddie has led them back down to the sewers. So Maddie starts like dancing on a pole and laughing, and then it turns, and then there's a head that opens up on the back of his head. That's like Pennywise's head, to reveal that it's Pennywise. It's been Pennywise the whole time, so Maddie's clearly dead. But like, that was the most acting that Pennywise has ever had to do, because when you really look at like, it was like really believable, and not in the way that like in the first movie where he kept seeing his little brother, and his little brother was like, come get me, like where he's trying to be a creepy kid. It's like, no, you were having like full conversations with Maddie. Like, Maddie could have gone and just like walked around town and been like, what's up, guys? Maddie. Like, I mean, there was nothing that was creepy or weird about his acting choices. He wasn't acting like he was haunted, that he was like some creepy little kid in a creepy ghost movie or something. But so whatever. Again, what are rules? Because if he can just personify this kid, why doesn't he just run around town and eat everybody? If he could just take on the form of Maddie, like, what is even the point of any of this? Why does he slowly pick off people one by one? He can get into the school. He can apparently fully dress as Maddie and is willing to commit to the acting and to not be creepy long enough to be able to get these kids to go down the sewers with him. So they flee, and that's basically it. So individually, I don't think, the only thing that you would need to know about any of them, because I don't think we have found anything more about any of these kids except Will, switching over to, for a minute, his dad, asks, what just happened, and gets some answers as to like this whole thing. Is told the story about the pillars and this great evil that's down there, and they want to, and he's like, you want to capture it. He figures it out. So Dexter's dad sends him down there with some troops, but also he's like, you let me be on this, you let me bring my family here. He's like, well, we wanted you to live on base. You're the one who wanted to live in town. So dad changes up the thing and moves his family onto base. So Will has to leave his friends behind, which doesn't really seem to stop him from joining them to go in the sewers. But so his wife and the son move on to base housing. Which kind of slows down his wife a little bit on trying to help the other guy get out of jail, but she's still working on that. There's a scene where they're taking him off to Shawshank, where one of the parents tries to like shoot him before they go off, but then the cops stop him, and then she sees some police officer who was described as being very sweaty. I was like watching her through a window. It's like, why is he sweating so much? But so yeah, so they put him on a bus to Shawshank, but something happens, and something attacks the bus, and then he makes it off, and rendezvous with the person. I've lost track. I'm on other adults right now. We'll go back to the dad because his thing was the most interesting anyway. So we go back to is it Hank? Is his name? I can't remember. Ronnie's dad, and we see who he was sleeping with, and it was the lady who's been giving Lily advice, who's married to the butcher, who we saw, and he was kind of a dick when at home, but not like overtly. I mean, by dairy levels of creepy assholery, like he's definitely not like at the highest level of concern. He would just be like moderately concerning. Like let's keep an eye on him, but I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's one of the worst ones in this town. So, yeah, they reunite and she's like, well, they're looking through the woods for you, so you can't go on. You have to hide. And he's like, well, I can't. We can't go back to your house. And he's like, I think I know somebody who will help. And it ends up being the wife, the Caroline or whatever her name is. So she shows up on base and she's like, we have a mutual friend. I hope you can help. And that's kind of ends where that is. So then our soldiers decide, well, they don't decide, they're sent down into the sewers. Infinite wisdom. Just, I love how he goes, this is the thing I don't understand. This makes no fucking sense. So Dexter's dad has gone out of his way to acquire a psychic and a man who doesn't have fear. And he sends randoms down there. Just complete random soldiers. Like, there's no indication that these people have any special ability or can feel or, are able to not comprehend fear, that they're psychic. They're just soldiers. And if you were... Why are you sending your people down there to die? Like, you've gone out of your way to try to find the one man who supposedly has no fear and therefore can defeat Pennywise, right? Who are these other people? Because they all die. Like he's basically like the lone survivor. And Dick, even, because Dick is just psychic, but I mean he can feel fear. So Pennywise gets him and has him go through this nightmarish thing with his grandmother and grandfather, where his grandfather's yelling at him. He's like, open the box! You're gonna open the box! And his grandmother's like, don't open the box! Open the box! Anyway, so yeah, Dick has a hard time, but our king of fear, he who shall not feel fear clearly feels fear, and has more of an experience with. I don't know what the interpretation is of fearless in this thing, because he gets out of breath. He seems scared at certain points. It's the same thing, like his reaction to things. Like he's reactionary in a way where he seems afraid of losing things. like, he may not feel fear in the traditional sense that he processes things quite the same way that everybody else does. Like, when a gun was pointed to his head, he wasn't afraid of dying, but he's afraid of other things. So there is fear within him, and so that's a sort of a failed experiment here, because he can, like, Pennywise can throw things at him, and they go down there with what's his name, Teflon or something like that, who has that knife that we talked about in the flashback sequence in the last thing, the thing that they made from the little crash piece of alien rock. And so he goes down there with them and shows them the way to and that knife is supposed to protect him, as if, Pennywise can't reach his brain either. And there's a little brief scene where Rose comes in and yells at her former friend about the whole thing, and they try to have an understanding about, this whole whatever, and he continues to lie to her about the real reasons why they want this. So nothing works out well. He ends up shooting his wife in the head, but it's not his wife, because it's whatever Pennywise was throwing at him, which leads to a scene where he's there with the last remaining dude, and it's like him and one other guy are the only two ones that are left in the sewer, and he'd already shot his wife in the head, and he tells the other guy, he's like, I don't care who it is, but if it doesn't belong down here, kill it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's your gym teacher, if it's your mother, it's whatever, it's not down in the sewers. So then he sees Will, not realizing that Will is actually in the sewers, and goes to shoot Will as Will and his friends are running out. And the other guy's like, no, I see it too. I see it too. And he jumps in front of the gun and saves Will's life, and then dies. So there you go. That's what you get, little kids, for doing things you're not supposed to, is that poor soldier died saving your life. So Leonard, or whatever, takes his Leroy, or what the fuck is his name? Lester, I can't remember. Anyway, he takes his family, he takes Will and the other kids out, except Lily is still trapped back up in there, but she's backed up against a wall. But luckily for her, right in front of her is the little dagger, and Pennywise can't get to her. He gets really close, and then he starts like glitching, and then he like runs away. And she looks down and sees this little shiny dagger, and she's like, huh, I wonder. So the dagger saved her. Body count. Lots of people died. They're all soldiers, though. Like, all these soldiers died. It's hinted at... okay, so they saw... And he was carrying his body out. But they see... at the very end of the episode, so I don't know whether or not he's okay or not. But our psychic is like stepping out of the sewer at the very end, and he sees the guy who was shot saving the kid. But even the audio description was like, he's like gray-faced. And I think he was carrying his body out at some point. I think they tried to save his body. So I think that dude is definitely dead. So whoever he's seeing is not that. But I don't know if our psychic is still alive. It's hard to tell if he made it out or not, as like a human, as like a living human, and not like some ghost that's trapped forever in the sewers, or as part of Pennywise's roster of things he can transform into. I think he's still alive, but I don't know. Otherwise, like, every other soldier just died up in there, just gone. It's a complete failed experiment. We found out officially that all the other kids are dead. The ones from the first episode are all dead, because we see all of them in their dead bodies, and Maddie is Pennywise, so they all die, and that's it. That's kind of where the limited is. So all of our main kids are still alive. Lily, Will, Rudy, Ronnie, and now number 5, whatever her name is. So yeah, well, it's my recap for you. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Uh, who else is? I think Tanner, or whatever his name is. I forget what is his name. It's like it's something, but like with a T at the front. Like it's a name that you would normally. It's like Taniel, or is it Taniel? He has something that's like really close to how like a common name, but then they put like a T in front of it. So, um, I don't remember if he died or not, or if he ran. I don't remember how he gets out, or if he does. I think he didn't get out. I don't think he got out. I don't think he left. He might have though, because supposedly he knows the sewers, like he knows the layout, so he could have ditched people and ran away. But why would he have dropped the thing and then left it there? The one thing that's so important to his people, and then returned home and been like, I don't have it. I'm fine, but I lost the thing that we've had for hundreds of years. So, yeah, I don't think he made it. We'll see. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. They keep doing the thing with like Lillian seeing her father, and I'm like, I just don't know if this is that effective. You know, like the whole, is that really the only thing she's scared of? Because you keep going back to the same table. I love that I have no idea what scares Rudy. I'm waiting for that because I feel like Pennywise has scared everyone but Rudy at this point, and Rudy has not had his like nightmare, and he's the one who's got this family that's like into this sort of like dark arts type stuff. So I feel like his, when we get to it, it's gonna be gnarly. Whatever his fear is gonna be like, oh my god. He's gonna get like eaten by a chupacabra or something. I have no idea, but it's coming. So I I need to know like their like rules. Kim, are we following them? Does he have fear? Is he fearless? Are we gonna find out that this fearless thing doesn't actually happen? He's not really fearless? Because I feel like I feel like there's fear. I feel like I mean, if you're making a character who supposedly is impervious to this whole experience, and that's your ace in the hole, then you want to make somebody who doesn't experience Pennywise and who looks around at everybody else around him and is always like, what is going on? What is it you see? I don't see it. Like somebody who Pennywise really just can't get to and can't read and can't figure out how to get inside his brain, because that element that he taps is not there. So I think that would be a far more effective use of this character, but they just keep playing him like he's any old character who just it just isn't driven quite as insane as some other people are by their nightmares. So like it's sort of like being um uh, awake in your dream, right? And you're what is it called when you're there's a thing when you're in your dreams and you're able, and you're in a dream and you're able to control it. Feels like he's just like that. Like he's in a nightmare. He knows he's in a nightmare and he's able to control it instead of like, and I don't know. I feel like he still is aware of fear though. So I don't know that fearless is necessarily his descriptor. Anyway, thoughts. I'm aiming between like an 8 and an 8.5 right now. It was between like an 8.5 and a 9. I'm settling more into an 8 to 8.5 now, with 8.5 on the higher end. It's coming down a little bit. I think it started strong and now it's having a little bit of hard time sticking to its points and answering questions and making a lot of sense. So like why on earth did you go to this much trouble to find a psychic and a man without fear just to send randos down there? What on earth? What is even the point? So and then I'm supposed to be like, yay, let me give you critic grade, high marks. So we'll see where this keeps going. Maybe we'll just keep nosediving like the Acolyte. I actually liked the first episode of The Acolyte, and then like everything else after that was just like, oh my god. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.